Operations Management Stepstone 2. How airport hotels manage operations. Service management. Here we're talking about queuing and service recovery strategy. Queuing. There are three givens of human nature we must address when looking at queuing. We get bored when we wait in line. We really hate it when we expect a short wait and then get a long one. And 3. We really hate it when someone shows up after us but gets served before us. The boredom issue has been tackled in a multitude of ways, from mirrors next to elevator banks to the TVs in waiting rooms. How to play the expectations game. Studies show that we're much more patient when we're given an idea of how long we'll be waiting, instead of wondering whether it will be 3 minutes or 3 hours. Just think of subway and railway stations where screens with arrival times show travelers how long they have to wait. Perhaps the most emotional issue in the world of queuing is the human quest for fairness. When we see people arrive after us and get served before us, we get very angry. People can remember it for days. Sometimes we will make exceptions. In general, people seem to be okay with the idea of an express lane at the supermarket. Someone buying one roll of paper towels shouldn't be forced to wait behind someone buying a full cart of groceries. But in most situations we demand social fairness. No one is more important than anyone else, and everyone should be served in the order he or she arrived. To solve this problem, the serpentine line was invented. The serpentine line funnels all customers into one big snaking queue, demarcated by ropes or barriers. When a customer reaches the head of the queue, he is directed to the next available server or check-in counter. The serpentine line isn't always faster than a regular queue, but it offers important solace. Customers absolutely never have to see someone arrive after them and get served before them. Another important aspect of service management is the staff. An airport hotel needs staff that works efficiently and guest-friendly at the same time. Some people can do that by themselves, but other staff members might need some training. Service recovery strategy. Analyze what customers really want and look to solve gaps. How to greet and address customers, how long they are willing to wait for the service, their expectations, and what kind of guarantees they request. Have an idea of the capacity, staff strength and willingness, commitment, knowledge, technology, space, dress code and supplies available. Empower employees to take decisions. Invest in training of customer handling, telephone skills and decision making. Complaining customers are good. Why? The perception of the customer determines the service quality. Perception is intangible and maybe invisible. Complaining makes it visible. Once it is visible, the service provider can respond and try to fix the gap. Service recovery is best done in service sequence and not later. It should be done by the groups involved in service failure. It should exceed the service expectation in some way. The company should always try to resolve the cause of the service failure. This will improve the quality of the service and reduce the time and costs spent in service recovery. Once service standards have been set, a company should publish these to let everybody, customers and employees, know about them, put them into practice, keep on monitoring them, then re-evaluate and improve. In the hospitality world, quality can be defined as all features or characteristics of a product or service that allow it to satisfy stated or implied needs. This means that a product or service must satisfy the needs and meet the expectations of customers that purchase and make use of the product or service. In our case, and as far as airport hotels are concerned, it can be mentioned that they have a large amount of rooms. As a consequence, they need to manage quality for a big quantity. Therefore, their way of operating is different from other hotels and is the key to differentiate. To start with, it is a fact that airport hotels face a lot of challenges. The main challenge is the quality judgments that customers make. Nowadays, with the growth of technology and mostly of the internet and rating sites, hotels receive daily comments and criticism, not only from experts but also from the customers themselves. Another challenge is conformance. Airport hotels, being massive service operations, have thousands of service encounters every day, each of which has to meet customer expectations. Since zero defects in airport hotels and other hotels in general require a very high level of performance, the quality gap model helps to understand how and why defects or errors can occur. The quality gap model is focused on 5 main gaps: positioning, specification, delivery, communication, and last but not least, the perception gap. The delivery gap is the most challenging for airport hotels. This is the gap between the service promised and the actual service as it is delivered. As we have mentioned, customers have high expectations regarding time and productivity due to their short time stays in airport hotels. Therefore, there is no time for mistakes and miscommunications. The delivery of service has to be according to their likings and needs. Looking at the costs of quality, we can divide them into 4 main categories: prevention, assurance, internal failure, and external failure costs. In airport hotels, these costs will differ from other hotels. Usually, their main characteristic is speed and flexibility. As a consequence, prevention costs need to be higher because there is a need for investment in order to set up standards and productive, quick, flexible systems that will need to be maintained. Capacity management is the management of the limits of an organization's resources, such as its labor force, technology, and equipment and inventory. It also deals with the capacity of an organization's processes. Capacity management might be one of the most important forms of management in airport hotels because it deals with a lot of situations such as over and underbooking. Their bookings depend on the amount of flights and therefore on the different holiday seasons. Throughout the year, there will always be people visiting airport hotels. Most of these guests will only stay a few hours or 1 to 2 nights due to business meetings, transfers, delays, or cancellations of flights. Their guests can be both business and leisure. As for most hotels, but especially for airport hotels, you can't avoid overbooking. The reason that hotels overbook is because they always keep the no-shows in mind. When a hotel gets in the situation of an overbooking, they will find a solution for the guest. The hotel will either upgrade the room of the guest or try to find a comparable room in the surrounding area. Of course, the hotel will pay for the transfer and any price difference that might occur. The hotel has to make sure that the quality of the guest's stay is comparable to the original hotel. But why do hotels overbook? The real reason behind the overbooking is that managers want to reach an occupancy rate of 100%. A room is a perishable object. If it's not sold today, you won't be able to sell it twice tomorrow. If they wouldn't overbook, there will often be the problem of empty rooms because of no-shows and last-minute cancellations. This will mean a loss of revenue. The benefit of an airport hotel is that you are able to sell a room even for a few hours due to the fact the guests might have a transfer at the airport. This makes it easier to reach a higher occupancy rate. When an airport hotel looks at their bookings and sees that the number is very low, the marketing department gets informed that they need to increase the visibility of the hotel. For example, the Hilton Group will help with their system and promote the hotel on their website or in other Hilton hotels. The next thing is promotion on the nearest airport. Since most of the target group of an airport hotel walk around at the airport, it's the easiest place and the smartest place to promote your hotel. Of course, the occupancy of airport hotels depends on the amount of flights and will be busier during the holiday season. Big airlines book hotel rooms in advance for their personnel, but also for their passengers who are having a transfer at the airport. If you provide rooms for them, they will likely become loyal to you as a hotel, so they will be booking more often. Another thing that most airport hotels are doing to raise their bookings is to organize overnight events and meetings while cooperating with other companies. Through organizing these events and meetings, you're quite sure you will have less no-shows because people who are invited to an event or meeting need to stay for another day. We from Group 2HM07 hope that you have enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching and we wish you a pleasant day.